Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Now I wanted to do a quick little video on 5 things that help me lose weight and stay lean. Now before we get started, I appreciate everyone's help. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel and share the video as much as you can. Appreciate the support. Let's get to it. Now, number 1 is to move more. Non-exercise activity thermogenesis, NEAT. So that's how much your body burns by doing everyday activity. Anything from lifting something up to walking down the stairs. Now, what you want to do is move more. Number 1, that would help with burning more calories. And number 2, it stops you from having to do excruciating amounts of cardio, which can be a bit of an overkill. So move more. My rule of thumb is get 10,000 steps in a day without exercise. So if you get 10,000 steps and then you go and do a little bit more cardio, by all means that's fine. Just know your limits, don't overdo it, but at the same time make sure you are getting those 10,000 steps in a day and without any exercise. Number 2 is fasting. Now, I used to believe that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, which in a sense it is. However, when you consume breakfast, it's totally up to you. You don't necessarily need to be eating straight away in the morning. If you're not hungry straight away in the morning, don't eat first thing in the morning. What I tend to do is I'll consume caffeine in this form of coffee or sometimes energy drinks, and I don't usually get my first meal in until about 11, sometimes 12 in the day. That then helps me, number 1, cram all my meals in the space of a couple of hours, which is known as intermittent fasting. If you want, I'll make a video about that completely separately. Comment down below if you want me to. But number 2, it then gives you that mindset that you are eating more than you should be, whereas in fact all you're doing is cramming all your meals in within the space of a few days, and because you've missed the first few hours of the day of not eating, it doesn't feel like you're eating as much, which also helps. Number 2 is liquid calories. Now this is one thing I used to be very guilty of, and this is one thing that 100% will make a difference as soon as you start. So one thing I always say is don't drink your calories, eat your calories. It's more satiating to the body if you actually get your calories from natural foods rather than calories from a can of drink, so to speak. Perfect example would be a can of Coke. Now a can of Coke has on average about 70 to 80 calories per can. Now instead of drinking a can of Coke, substitute that with something else, 2 rice cakes. That would essentially be more filling than having the can of Coke, which will, number 1, spike your insulin because all you're doing is just filling your body with sugar, and then half an hour later it's going to give you that feeling that you want to eat more again, you're hungry, where in fact it's not, it's just your insulin crashing down again. Number 4 is another one I used to be guilty of, is overeating. Now, one thing we like to do is, as humans, we're programmed to eat until we're full, and that is the biggest mistake. Don't eat till you're full, eat until you're satisfied. There's a massive difference between being satisfied and being full. The reason as to why is just simply because your body can take so much per meal. So if you're overloading your body with extra food, automatically in a few hours time you will feel hungry, even though your stomach hasn't got the space, your body hasn't got the space. And then what happens? You then put more food into your body, which then turns into fat, which then turns into extra weight being gained. And the last one is increase your protein intake. If you're wanting to lose weight, then by increasing your protein intake, it stops you from over consuming on carbohydrates and fats, which is your energy source. So by consuming protein, it helps with muscle recovery, and also not only that, protein will help with making you feel more satiated. So it is proven that protein is the most satiating macronutrient. So consume a bit more protein on every meal and you will see a massive difference. Perfect example would be pull back on the carbs a little bit or the fats and substitute that with protein, whichever one you prefer. Now if you put all these 5 together, then you will then end up essentially losing weight, which is what you want to do, is stay consistent, trust the process, and you will get to it. One thing I would like to advise you though is that don't try to do all 5 at once, just because it will become very overwhelming because you're making too many changes. Little by little, implement them one at a time. So implement moving more. Once you're comfortable with that, then add in a little bit of fasting. Once you're comfortable with that, take away the liquid calories and so on. And then bit by bit, you will see the excess body fat and the pounds dropping off. If you found this video helpful, once again guys, drop your like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you very much for watching, and thanks for your support. Take care.